Safa Labedat. You are listening to the Women Power Podcast, a subsidiary platform to the Women Power Summit, the largest event in MENA, with the aim of empowering women and helping them achieve their absolute highest potential. Each week on the Women Power Podcast, you will hear honest, vulnerable, authentic, real conversations from inspiring women. These women will share their experiences and stories into what it takes to build a successful business and career. The podcast will share insight and inspiration and hopefully inspire action and lead change. Today, our guest for the podcast is Deena Ansari. Deena kickstarted her career in banking, working her way up from trainee to VP of Treasury and Capital Markets in just 9 years. After leaving banking, she established her very own business in the beauty industry while also joining the family business as a managing director for Ansari Lighting. The mobile spa was her first venture and also the first exclusive mobile spa concept that opened in Bahrain, which gave her and her partner Souha first mover advantage. Welcome, Deena, to the podcast. I'm so excited to have you here with me.
I'm excited to be here.
So, Deena, before we begin, I just wanted to really set the intention for this episode. I've known you for so many years, and it's such a privilege to have you here. I know that you're private and you value your privacy. So it's so exciting to have you share your story here with our amazing audience. And I really hope they enjoy it as much as I enjoy spending time with you. Are you anxious at all? Have you been frustrated or angry? Like, did you go through any phases?
So I panicked in the beginning, I must admit, because I could not understand the impact or foresee the impact, what's going to happen. And then I have businesses that are not only in Bahrain, and there's so much to think about. So I started dealing with that at the beginning. So first I wanted to make sure we have enough cash. How long will this take? Do we have enough cash? I started struggling with things like collections, people who are supposed to pay who didn't pay, staff issues, because we have people in Saudi, people in Dubai, and regulation is different. So it was dealing with that. Then I went into a phase of what will the world look like after COVID-19 and how did that impact our business? So we went into a phase of planning and thinking, and then I felt a bit more secure and comfortable. And then I jumped into me time and family time and doing things I wanted to do. So I wake up in the morning and I just meditate, or I take the time. I don't have to jump out of bed, run to get ready to catch a meeting. So I started enjoying that. So I'm at peace with it. I've surrendered to it, and I feel I have things under control for now.
Have you been learning anything new or different in this time?
Yeah. Well, I've been doing a lot of learning because I'm part of different organizations and they do all these webinars. And it's interesting seeing different perspectives. I think the most important thing is how people are going to buy in the future and changing the business to fit that.
So when you talk about pivoting, I think you mentioned this phase in your business where you made sure you had cash. Have you done anything strategic with any number of your companies that you felt were taking advantage of this opportunity to turn your business around or to create a product that was beneficial for people during this time?
One of the industries we're in is the beauty industry. And we sell to professionals. So we sell to spas and salons around the GCC. And they're closed, all of them. and I also have a spa. And it's closed. So for other businesses, there was still business happening. Like in other businesses, there's things where life was still pulsing. In this, nothing was. So I started thinking about direct-to-consumer, creating new products, and we created a new kit. And I'm personally testing with it. And I'm working with your company, by the way.
Which is such an honor.
To test different things and how things. But I'm taking it as an opportunity to learn with this one product because I'm very hands-on. I want to know how things are done first before I start handing it out to the team or someone else to do it. And I'm enjoying this process as well, and reaction and numbers. And it's one product, and we have like a system before it. It's an RP, and I'm like monitoring things.
No, it's very cool. And I ordered one of the kits that you've made available, and I thought it was such a perfect time to launch something like that because I feel like we're all banned from the salon, so we need to take care. Like self-care, home self-care is huge right now. So I just thought that was really cool that you are not just doing that, but I think you were saying like you were packaging everything yourself with your family, which I thought was so cool.
Yeah, it's exciting, by the way. It's so exciting because it's at home. Because there's no point bringing the team to do this right now. And for me, I think I've done that in every business I've started, is that I've done it myself. Registering the company in Saudi, one of my companies, was me getting on a plane, going in there and like doing the process, not hiring a lawyer to do it. I like to do the first phase of the business with my own hands, and then get all the learning, and then scale it.
Making that decision, has that benefited you to kind of get your hands dirty and do things yourself?
Absolutely. It has made me grow. I learned so much. So even when I'm speaking with someone about the process, I can possibly help them more because I'll tell them the shortcut. And also it shows me opportunities. So when I do the package myself, I start realizing what could have been done differently or better. So it allows for development.
What I love about you getting your hands dirty or getting into details of how things are done and made, and simple things like registration, which could be delegated, you would go yourself, is you become an expert at these things.
Yeah.
And then you can school the people you actually hire. Like, don't try to BS me. Like, this is how it's done. And I've been there and this is a shortcut. And you can actually support your team as well, because you're able to come up with solutions and come up with different ideas, because you've almost experienced all these different things on your own.
Yeah. So I've learned that the most important thing, and it took me a long time, is having the right team, building the right team. And how will I build the right team if I don't know how the business runs? How will I know if someone is a star or isn't a star if I don't understand the process? So it might be a slower way of doing things, and some people don't agree with me that this is the best way to do it. But if I'm going to be an entrepreneur in a business, I'm going to do it that way. If I'm going to be an investor in a business, I'm going to not do it this way. So and in these businesses, they're my babies. So I like to do it from the ground out, but I like to have the information and then I delegate it.
So let's go back to the very beginning. Let's talk about your first job or your first hustle.
So I was a banker. I started at Gulf International Bank. The best experience ever as an employee. What did I learn? I learned discipline and structure. I think they shaped the business me, or the corporate me.
So you went to banking instead of joining the family business at first.
Yeah.
Was there a reason that happened? Did you get any support from your family?
So my family wanted me to be in the family business, but I didn't want to be. I think it was weird, but we're programmed to go to school, like me and everyone I know, kind of thing, from school, then college. You go to good school to get into a good college so that you get a good job. So what do you want to do? You want to go get that good job. You're programmed. And although I have a family business, it was like, oh my God, I'm not going to do that. And after 9 years, I realized I was an entrepreneur all my life and it was in my DNA. But I don't think I wasted 9 years of banking. It has taught me so much that I use today.
Do you feel that in order to fall in love with something, you need to learn everything about it?
Yeah. So knowledge is, I think, where my strength is. I build myself on knowledge. So before going to a meeting, the amount of information I collect before getting into a business, knowledge for me is really the superpower.
So when you were invited or pushed into joining the family business, or you were asked to join, did you feel that, okay, since I'm stuck here for 4 hours every day, I might as well get on board that ship and become an expert and figure out how to add value? So did you walk in with that mindset, or were you resistant? And then
I definitely walked in with that mindset. It's the family business. I have, other than obligation, I care. Like, it's who we are. We've been in the lighting business before I was born. So it's part of my identity to a certain extent. So I care. I wanted to improve it, and I started improving it with IT, with structure when it comes to accounts and finances and different things, like the way we manage our inventory. I started there. And then I started traveling to exhibitions to just select new lights. And then I started getting exposed. So for me, everything is a journey. It's never a destination. I'm not going to go there to do this. I go in and with an open mind, and I try to see where I can make impact. And from there, they just flow one after the other.
This podcast is brought to you by the Women Power Summit. The Women Power Summit is an annual event that hosts more than 2,000 guests to listen, learn, and network with more than 100 plus speakers and industry leaders. The summit creates space for growth, learning, discussion, and collaboration. with the means of creating a space where women can support each other, ask questions, be curious, and be inspired. Let's talk about partnerships. So you work with your brother on different ventures and projects. Can you tell me a bit about the dynamic relationship between you two?
When it came to working together, so there's a huge problem with bringing the family relationship into a business, because I relate to my brother as a brother. He's the support, he's the backbone, he's the guy who's going to go punch someone for me. And then I want to punch him and he wants to punch me. That doesn't work, So it's, I'm very detailed. I like any venture I get into, I go learn lighting design. I can do things myself from the ground up. That's how I think. He is a fantastic salesperson. He's amazing with people and he has power. And I love his power. He's such a powerful personality. Sometimes he's so powerful that I think, do I want to just get into this argument or not? For business, this was a bit frustrating. Plus, the way I work frustrated him. The way he works frustrated me. The way I work is you give me a contract that is like a partnership contract or something that is serious, something that I will, not a contract for, whatever, a lease contract for a car or a machine or something. I'm talking about serious contracts. I am going to read every page. I don't care if my lawyer read every page. If this is an important thing, I'll read it. My brother thinks I'm mad. Like, we have a lawyer. Why are you looking at this? But for me, some things are important. So he used to look at me in the beginning when we worked with each other as a person who just does not get anything done. Deena's going to take 4 days before she answers us about this contract. And is there any way to skip Deena, And I would look at him like, you are careless and you make these decisions so fast without thinking about the consequences. I think I was wrong in my way of judging him and he was wrong in his way of judging me. I think the magic happened because right now my brother is one of my favorite partners. I would get into any business with him any day. But 10 years ago, I would have been like, oh my God, I walk out of that office wanting to say, I need a vacation every single day at the end of every day. So, but what happened there was a journey. It didn't happen overnight. But there was a story that was very significant between me and Souha. She likes her environment to be a lot slower. I like mine to be a lot faster. So after we did this personality test, we used to frustrate each other because I want things done now and she wants, and by the way, I have two personalities. The one I have with my brother, I'm the slow one, he's the fast one. The one I have with Souha, which is weird. After we did the personality test and her environment, she's very detailed and very organized and she digs into a lot of detail. So she needs time to dig into detail. I like to do things yesterday.
So you're like your brother in that relationship and she's like you in that relationship.
Yes, it's strange.
That's
we had someone in HR that was saying, who was working with both companies, and he was like, do you know that you're two people? You're one person here and one person there. So after we did the personality test and understood why I frustrate her and why she frustrates me at times. Anyway, we were on a plane making a decision about something about the business. We were on an 8-hour flight coming back to Bahrain, made a decision. Deena got so excited about the decision and we're coming back from the airport. And our office is in Sif. So I was like, Souha, the team is there right now. Why don't we go down and let them know and discuss it? She looked at me and she was like, but now? I'm like, and then we started laughing because it was like, caught you doing the thing that you do because of your personality and caught you doing that. And we laughed. Now I ask myself, is it necessary for me to move this fast right now? Any task when I'm working with Souha.
How did you shift from banking or lighting to beauty?
It was actually from banking to beauty before lighting, because when I started my beauty business, my family came to me like, okay, now you need to join the family business since you left banking. So from banking to beauty was because of a need. We worked very long hours in the bank. I'm one of those workaholics wherever I do. So I leave the bank at 7:30, 8 p.m. All the mobiles, all the spas and salons are closed. And then I was like, I wish there was a spa that I could just do my nails at the end of the day and be there at home. So I dreamed it up. And then I realized that these concepts exist everywhere else in the world, but they weren't in Bahrain. And then I never thought I'd be an entrepreneur. I decided I was a banker. So I went to a lot of my friends. I'm like, listen, open a mobile spa that comes to people, working women. Now we need time. We have to look our best and still be there in the morning and get things done and work late hours. Nobody would do it. So Souha and I, who were friends and met in the bank, decided, let's just do this on this side. We thought it was a side hobby, which turned into mobile spa, then the beauty company, and then Spalinia, and then a lot of other things.
So you talked about negotiating deals a lot. I've heard you say that a few times now about the banking industry. What is the process of negotiating a deal, and how did you bring any of those tactics into your new business?
I think everything we do is negotiating something, from the moment we start the day till the end of it. You're trying to give someone something and have something in return, whether it's at work or you're buying something, whatever it is that you're doing. So negotiation is like part of every day. But if you're talking about negotiating like a partnership or selling part of a business, then what the process that I go through is usually, what is it that I want from this? And I put a list of what I want. And then for everything that I want, I have to give that person that I'm going to partner with or I'm going to negotiate with something in return. Because if it's going to be a win for me only, it's not going to last. If I manage to convince him to give me something that is going to give me everything I want, then. And if he manages to do that, then it's not going to last. It's not going to be a solid negotiation that leads to a solid business or whatever it is. So once I put that, and I put for myself what I'm prepared to give up for this. Let's say, for example, if I'm negotiating exclusivity for a product for the beauty company, I decide, okay, if I want exclusivity, I have to give them a certain purchase quantity a year. So what am I able to give? How much am I able to commit to? So it's always a two-sided thing for me.
Why do you think women bully themselves so much? I know that we are so hard on ourselves and we have such high expectations of ourselves. And we have these conversations where you can't, yes, you can. Where does that come from?
So I know that I bully myself a lot because I've been told I do. And I don't acknowledge the achievements. I acknowledge that even if it's done well and there's no issue with it, I keep telling myself, but I could have done it better. If I just tweaked this, celebrate the win, let it go. So where does that come from? I think maybe because we're doing so much, we still take care of our role as a woman in the family. We still enjoy the little things, whatever they are for each one of us. For someone it's cooking, whatever it is that we enjoy that generally women take care of. And I'm not saying only women, but generally. But at the same time, we want to show up at work and we want to give it 1,000,000,000%.
I read somewhere that you can't have it all. You can have like the social, leisure or work. What for you is the thing that you've I have to drop this? There's no room for this in my life if you are working 14, 16 hours a day.
So I never really decided to drop anything. I was just doing what I liked doing. And what I liked doing was taking all this time because I couldn't stop doing it. And it was work. I think what got affected is time with my family and my friends. And I remember, I think one of the times I realized that, I didn't really notice, when a friend of mine came to me and was like, Deena, you used to tell us that you're going to have time to spend with us and travel and come out more often, go to dinners and stuff. Just do the normal friend stuff when mobile spa starts running. And when that happened, you said, when the beauty company is on its feet. And then you said, but when I opened Dubai. And then you said, is this ever going to end? And that moment I was like, I don't think it will ever end because this is who I am. I think before I achieve the goal that I'm set to achieve, there's already another one cooking up for the next level, and I didn't care. But about 2-3 years ago, I started caring because I think I see my nieces, they grow older. I see my family and I want to spend time with my parents. And I think there's value in that. And I don't want to regret it. So I'm trying.
Do you have any mentors? Or do you feel like my books are my mentors or my learning is my mentor?
I can't think of a mentor in the form of a mentor that's going to sit with me and look at my business and talk to me about it. But I feel I'm being mentored every single day by a lot of people. I'm part of I used to be part of Entrepreneur Organization, and we have something there called Forum. So I had 8 people that would meet with me every month. They would coach me on some topics, and then I would look at them as mentors because I'd walk out of there with aha moments, with things that I want to try. I think my business partners like Souha, my brother, I learned. And even you, I would count you in that because I remember the first time I met you when you were this kid and you recruited our company. I think I came to that meeting was wowed. I was I don't think I heard everything you said. I was looking at you, I'm like, seriously? And I've learned that from you at that time. And I've recruited clients, and because I understood how it made me feel when you did that. So I've learned from you. I
Thanks,
learn
Deena.
constantly.
Deena, that is just so nice of you to say, because you coached me when I was part of EO Accelerator for almost a year. And what I remember was how you took the time to prepare for our coaching sessions. So you came in with these folders and you've already done the homework before. So I used to prepare for meetings, but I've never seen anything like this, where you have come in really catching up on the readings, being able to take some of the lessons from the consultants who came for EO and update the person who wasn't there. And then took that experience and I tried to bring that to my own company. So I actually look up to you and I learned so much from you, and you have a reference for absolutely everything, which I think is so great. I don't know how much do you read? I feel like you're always reading, because I'm like, Deena, I'm stuck here. You should read this book. Let me send you a link. Let me connect you to this company or this organization or this consultant. So you're always able to unblock a challenge that not just myself, but the group that we were in, by connecting us. So how much learning do you do, like from your week or your year or your month? Is it strategic, like I will read this many books, or does it happen organically?
Learning is one of the things, and knowledge, I think, is my infrastructure. My just feel safe when I have learned. And when I solve a problem, whenever I'm faced with a problem, the first thing is, like, what can I read about this? Where's someone who's done this, who can tell me about it? So I read books like crazy. The last book I read, I was going to Saudi because I had to sign something, and I had to personally go and sign something. And I was driving for 3 hours or 4 hours, going and coming back. And I just decided I'll get in my car and go do it. I finished a book.
Wow.
And it was, what would be the book at that time? It'll be whatever it is that I want to solve.
This podcast is brought to you by OBrien Hill. OBrien Hill is a leading communications agency focusing on public relations, event management, and marketing. It's made up of a fantastic group of creatives in the design and PR fields. The agency first came to life in 2010 as my brainchild. Our creative consulting services were in demand in the UK after our online publication Sketchbook became an overnight success. Much like a proud mama, our agency's namesake is attributed to the place of its inception, Notting Hill. It's now 10 years later and we're one of the leading communication agencies in town, and we as a team are incredibly proud to be working on this very podcast behind the scenes. Check us out on www.obrienhill.com. So what motivates you? What pushes you? You're reading, you're creating products, you are working in the family business. Where does this fuel come from?
The need to make an impact in anything I do. And I think when I open my eyes in the morning, I'm like, what can I finish? And usually it's like I'm trying to finish something so that I get something completed, so that something within the business flows better, we have less risk. It's a sense of achievement. Like, I remember at the very beginning when I worked in the family business, I was doing whatever my father wanted me to do. I was miserable. Like, those 4 hours were so boring, but I had to learn the business. And it was like, we do it this way and you need processing, just processing. That I can't do. I need to create. I need to make something out of nothing. And that thing that I make needs to change someone's life or make things better. Like the mobile spa, for example, it was for women who were facing my problem. The beauty company was for people that are not able to get these products and they're needed. Spalinia, the brand that we created, was for bringing in products that are more relevant to our region. Like the product has kahraman in it, which is relevant to our region, and people will understand it.
So when you were scaling up into Saudi, Kuwait, and the UAE, have you figured out the key to scaling?
Again, fear, which is do what scares you, because you just do it. Just go do it, deal with the consequences, and then you're done with that and you're ready to jump into the next one and the next one and the next one. So I think one takeaway is just do whatever scares you. And again, and it gets so much easier. About them being different or alike, they are extremely different. Honestly, the every country and how we open them, and because every single one, so I get up and get on a plane and go do it, ourselves. Dubai was a very interesting experience. It was very organized and structured, and I could get things fast. Saudi, I thought, was going to be so hard, but it was such a pleasant experience, and a different one in Kuwait.
So how do you prepare for meetings? I know that I talked about watching you come to meetings and you have your, first of all, I always feel that you are really up to date with whatever. So even if we haven't seen you in a month, you come to those meetings and you are up to date. You have notes, you have talking points, you have a lot of respect for time. How do you prepare? And how long does it take you to prepare for meetings, whether it's for a board or for one of your team meetings?
I know that it takes so much time, but it's what makes me who I am, and it's what makes me stand tall in any place. So I'm not scared. I can answer questions, and I'm so comfortable saying, I don't know, and I'll get back to you. I think because I over prepare and I've read everything that I can and I understood it and asked myself all the questions, if something comes up that I don't know, I have the confidence to say, I don't know, and I'll get back to you. And I think that has gained me a lot of respect, because I remember in the family business, for example, when I started going in the very beginning, I was dealing with certain projects and discussing with consultants the light and it's everything gets sold after I speak, because not because I'm speaking, not because I own the business, but because they are impressed that I know what I'm talking about, and it's not what they're expecting to get. So I've gotten so much out of being prepared. I've gotten respect, I've gotten deals, I've gotten business. How long does it take? Depends on the thing I'm preparing for.
Let's talk about money. I read somewhere that men talk about money, they're comfortable talking about money. And when it comes to women, we don't talk about money as much. So that's something that's sometimes off the table. And I feel like, how can we get more power or more money or more influence to represent us if we don't talk about money?
Maybe it's not how we value ourselves. Yani I wouldn't say, oh, my business is worth something because I've have this much in revenue or this much in net profit. Maybe our value system is different. Maybe men have always been like, back in the days, the breadwinners, and it's about how much you earn and you have a job that makes you. Women are about other things, so we focus on other areas. I know I wouldn't jump into money as well when you said that. I've never thought about it. But yes, I wouldn't be like, yeah, I closed a deal for this much. And I've done this beaut in Saudi. I didn't even talk about it in terms of the family, whereas that's my contribution, out of our revenue this year. And it was completely mine. And at that time, I cared so much about it, and I'm so detailed. I checked everything. I checked the orders. I really worked admin stuff within it. But I didn't talk about it, and I don't bring it up, and I don't see it. And even when I talk about it, it's a company achievement. But people like my father and my brother are the ones that come to me and they're like, do you know that this is you? Do you know that it's because of you? And you know that you need to take this out of the business because this is completely yours. And I wouldn't even accept any financial acknowledgement for making this happen. I wanted it to be a family thing. I don't want it to be a Deena thing.
Let's take this idea of investing in companies. Tell me a bit about your decision to start investing in companies or investing in startups and why that was important to you.
I was a startup. When I did my own businesses, so I know the challenges that come with it. I also feel like sometimes having someone believe in you is so powerful. For me, when Bahrain Development Bank were like, this is such a great idea, we'd finance it here, get this paperwork, and then they put money in our bank account. And I'm like, really? So I think that experience was the thing that fueled me. I was serious in being a banker. I was a VP at that point when I decided to leave. I did my MBA dissertation in finance. I was a banker. My identity was there. So this push, this belief in someone is so powerful. And because I've had the pleasure of experiencing it, I always feel like I want to give it to people. I got it, so you need to get it too.
How do you choose the companies you want to invest in?
The drive, the business concept. I usually have, I tell you, it's really people for me.
Is it like a gut thing? Like, oh, I like this person. I'm clicking with them. There's chemistry. I believe in what they're doing.
So I want to develop the gut thing because I don't believe in my gut. And I think I need to start every time someone says, I feel it in my gut. That's why I'm going to do this. I'm like, I sit there and I have a conversation for an hour. I'm like, what does it feel like? What is it? I'm a very calculating numbers kind of person. Like, show me numbers. And I feel I trust numbers but I really, really believe that having a gut feeling is so powerful. I have not been able to find mine for some reason. I had a discussion with a lot of my friends about this. It's, for me, it's not gut thing, but it's how they react to certain situations. Like, for example, that guy we wanted to partner with and it usually unfolds in front of me without me having to seek it out. So how committed they are to the business, how excited are they about it, what are their skill set, but what's their energy level really? Energy level, not if they've got the energy or not, but is it a good energy level? And that I sense, like, do you want to do good? Do you want to grow? Do you want to have or is it about, I've had different people. Some people, it's about me, and I want the spotlight. I don't care about the business. I just want to be an entrepreneur, whatever that is. And some people, it's like, I'm so passionate about this idea and I think it can make an impact. For me, it's impact. It's making a difference. And if what they're doing is interesting and it's going to make an impact or it's going to improve someone's life or give a skill to someone, it excites me.
So do these entrepreneurs find you or do you find them, or is it happening through personal connection and contacts?
Yeah, all I think are personal connections and contacts, because I'm not out there seeking it, but I'd like to share. I'd like to be there. I'd like to help. I'd like to contribute. And I'd like to support someone and give them that nice feeling that I had when someone believed in me, whether it was a bank or a person. I think it's more interesting when it's a person.
Deena, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for being part of the Woman Power podcast. This was a dream. That's it for this week. Thank you for listening to an episode of the Woman Power podcast. And thank you for downloading and streaming our podcast every week. If you love what you've heard, tag us on Instagram and follow the Woman Power podcast and Woman Power Summit account for more information on our next episode. Please leave a rating review wherever you get your podcast. It really helps other women discover the show. That's it from me. See you next week.